Chat, here we go. We got a best of 7. Evoh versus Ayyjayy. Evoh has been trying to enter himself into the top 3 or so North American 1v1ers. Ayyjayy is definitely there, trying to stop him. Ayyjayy has probably been the number 2 behind First Killer in recent memory, as he has pretty much only been beat by First Killer in games I can remember. He also played against, I believe, apparently Jack, and that match was a best of 5 or best of 7 that went the full distance. But other than that, I don't think Ayyjay's doing much losing except to First Killer. Evoh trying to change that here in this best of 7. Evoh has done a lot of winning recently as well. I'm trying to remember the last time Evoh lost, and it's not easy to think of it. Ayyjayy dribble on the ceiling, not able to make anything happen, and the Evoh counter. Evoh's defense greatly improved in recent memory, and he has recognized that. He has been working towards having a better defense for a while. Like to see that we noticed in his past few show matches. Ayyjayy, another reset. This time placed well enough. Not even the improved defensive Evoh can stop him. Both these players love to play through the air. Evoh has had a bit more of a well-rounded attack as of late. Ayyjayy has always stuck to his aerial game. Never backed off of it. Lived and died by it. And that's part of the reason why he plays so well in the air. Lots of players can get discouraged when it isn't working out for him. Not Ayyjayy. He doesn't back down. And although he might have handed over a couple free goals at the start of this game, he is already back within 1. It still says best of 5. All right, I just need to hit the update button. There you go. Shouldn't say best of 5 anymore. It is a best of 7. Appreciate that, Flugify. Ayyjayy, ooh, almost able to outplay, to slot that one top right. Just quicker to the ball than Evoh. He's in a shadow position now. I don't think Evoh has tons of boost, so you know his shot is going to come soon. Ayyjayy is able to get the save. Now Ayyjayy, great use of the flip to keep the ball high, but he separated himself just a little bit too much, and that creates a window of opportunity for Evoh to have a read and jump and challenge, knowing that no matter what Ayyjayy does, he first has to make it back to the ball. So as long as he can get to the challenge before Ayyjayy reaches it, he should be able to get a 50, and he does. Now Ayyjayy, a demo and a double off the ground, the 50! It wasn't the best of first touches, as it did leave an opportunity for Evoh to get back. We're going to watch Evoh as he respawns, but he still covers the 50, as Evoh's double jump can't get it out. 3-3. Evoh may have started hot, but Ayyjayy, I think, hit 3 straight back, right? I want to say it was a 3-0 lead. Might have been 2-1. Evoh now full field in front of him. Ayyjayy, he has been trying to go for this flick for a while. Somebody gave a good name. Basically the pre-flick. It's maybe a good way to call it, because you're using the end part of your flip almost. Evoh hook shot. Not able to generate enough power. Not tons of options, though, out of Ayyjayy's corner, with only a pad's worth of boost. Ayyjayy's air dribble sent too high. Evoh timed his challenge well enough to force Ayyjayy to miss, but not enough to take over control of possession. Evoh is in so deep right now with this shadow, and then it forces him to kind of panic, leave the play, as he puts a bunch of space in between them two by going out to the midfield boost, and then Ayyjayy can just read him on his way back. Nice flick. Notice how Ayyjayy shifts the ball really far on the back of his car so that his front flip pops it high above Evoh. Evoh, long shot at the kickoff, and a 4th. Ayyjayy just following him a little bit too long into this corner. You're not going to be stealing the boost off of a race on the kickoff. It's not normally a great idea to steal any boost, not even the midfield. If you're going to get beat in the race, you should not head there, and even that flip right there is going to put Ayyjayy recovering just a little bit later than he otherwise would had he recognized that he was not going to beat Evoh to the midfield. Evoh with a possession play. Back into his corner. Ayyjayy challenging awkwardly, not shadowing, instead forced directly towards the play. So you see him reversing to try and make sure he can get a good hit, which is not normally what you want to do. These players are so fast. As soon as they see you reversing, they can get the ball over the top of you and take it to your net. Evoh, 0 boost, knows to turn away. Now Ayyjayy with space. Very weak fake challenge from Evoh. Not even really much of a fake challenge, just trying to set up a shadow. And he read the pop by Ayyjayy well, though. Soft fake challenge again. Evoh shadowing at a good distance to prevent the flick from going over the top of him. He thought he had an opportunity for a long shot, but Ayyjayy recovers. Evoh 20 boost. Cannot take the wall to air dribble. Normally that's a play that he likes to make, but he doesn't have enough in the tank to do so this time. So he lets it fall to the ground. A great flick. Now he wants to bait Ayyjayy in. This is a move that Evoh does more than any other player I see. Really wanting the defender to creep out and potentially go for a risky dive. This time Evoh didn't really have the boost to force that, so he did have to eventually take control of the ball. Ayyjayy, nice win. Midfield. Evoh still has supersonic speed, though, which means he might be able to stay in the play. And even though he wasn't, he at least gets back. Good recovery. 4-4. The next goal likely to be the winner of this game number 1. Ayyjayy, aerial play, resulting in catching the ball in a direction away from the net. Makes it a little bit easier for Evoh to defend. Can he keep this ball in the air? Ooh, that actually would have been a great start of a dribble. Might have been able to flick it over the top of Ayyjayy, who was going to have boost. He had just gotten 100 in midfield, but still would have been a good chance. Evoh is going to get 100 to start this one. Ayyjayy into the corner, and Evoh takes too tight of an angle. Ayyjayy is able to cover it. Now it truly is next goal wins. No potential quick kickoff can save whoever concedes next. Ooh, Evoh thought about going for the shot and thought about stealing the boost, but ultimately went for neither. So now it's going to be an Ayyjayy possession. Evoh with nothing but a pad on his goal line. He can get this 50 for now. He's only going to be able to pick up a couple pads before the next shot comes. Ayyjayy, the reset. He stops the ball, and it rolls in. Evoh is up to take the dribble away. He needed to get up early, and Ayyjayy puts it just enough behind him that he can't get back down to the ground and stop this bouncing shot. 5-4. Ayyjayy will start up 1-0 in the best of 7 for $150. Game number 2. Evoh looking to overcome some demons in his rise to greatness in the ones game, in the Rocket League game in general. He has never been able to crack through many players in the top 5. Now, recently, after this great shot, he has taken down Lion Blaze. So that is one of the demons he's had in his long journey. Another demon recently squashed as well when he was able to take down Chronic in a best of 5. He won that one in game 5. A player he had, up until that point, not been able to beat. Where does it end for Evoh? Can he continue to push higher and higher? Ayyjayy wants to say no, and does so by evening this game with a fake reset. Got the reset. Maybe he was just playing reactionary. Even if Evoh did get a touch, might have been launching it straight back down into Ayyjayy. Ayyjayy, one of those players that even before the series starts, he can get away with faking those resets all day, because you know when he wants to, he can connect on them perfectly. Ayyjayy needed that bump, I think, and in fact, it's not even going to matter. Not a great flick. Carrying the ball near the net and then flicking up high off the backboard while sending yourself into the net, basically, it's going to be really hard to recover from. So his only way out was going to get a really solid bump on Evoh, and the one that he got was not good enough. So it will be an Evoh lead once again. Direct kickoff. Nice fake by Ayyjayy. Up to the ball early, forcing Evoh into the air. And great reaction time to just pull off the ball as soon as he sees Evoh up. even if Evoh did make contact. Ayyjayy doing a good job of getting all wheels covering the ball, which is known to just kill the ball in its place. Instant punishments of a complete fake kickoff. If you've watched yourself a Johnny stream, which I assume you must have if you're here, you've heard him rave about players trying to leave kickoffs completely a little bit more often and use it in their game. The first time I remember seeing someone really use it was Joria's against Moxie in the grand finals of, what was that, FeerFest 2, something like that? Another fake from Ayyjayy and another goal. But it has been hit or miss. Joria's was able to get a ton of possessions, but even then, Moxie was sometimes able to just slot it into the far corner with, you know, one of the most mechanical recoverers in the game trying to get there as soon as possible. This time, Ayyjayy maybe making the wrong decision to creep out midfield after picking up boost. Lets Evoh just push it right past him, and really the credit goes to Evoh on getting a really early read. Sometimes, even though players don't even fake it at all, they just go right back to the back corner. If you don't recognize that right away and adjust your approach, you might not be able to get a good shot. 3-3, Ayyjayy. Fancy catch, but Evoh dunks it right over the top of him. Once again, takes his 1-goal lead. Evoh not going to take the quick shot on the kickoff. Had faith in Ayyjayy to get the recovery instead. Likes this high flick better. You should have the boost advantage on Ayyjayy, but Ayyjayy gets enough power that it'll reset both these guys' tanks. Ayyjayy getting the midfield, Evoh the back corner. He's going to try a dribble all the way from the back corner. Not a great touch. And maybe... No, he's not going to get there. Almost space for Evoh to bump Ayyjayy off the line. His first touch put him at an awkward angle, but doesn't matter. Chips it up to himself and gets a fourth. Ayyjayy. 1 reset, 2 resets. And the problem with this dribble, which I've said 100 times on stream before, is that Ayyjayy has to connect with it perfectly to even get it to the net. And when that happens, Evoh does not have to worry about any sort of fake, any sort of soft touch, anything that isn't perfect and straight towards the post. He doesn't have to guard, which means he can just guard the shot that Ayyjayy wants. And if it doesn't work, there's no consequence. So he just jumps and able to dive and take a quick goal. A nice win in this corner. Using that 100 boost to his advantage as he quickly off the ground and into the air to get him a 6-4 lead. Evoh electing not to take an air dribble. Showing you the sign of respect for his teammate, or sorry, his opponent on the other side of the field. Oh my goodness. Did Eros just create a copy pasta? Oh no. Oh man. Evoh, look at that. Surprising Ayyjayy. Camped in net. He didn't have tons of boost either way. But Evoh, once again, a steal in the corner and up to the ball faster than Ayyjayy can expect. Bro, it's legit plats and diamonds telling literal pros that they should have backflipped or done this or that. Bro, you don't realize there's mind games at this level, and there's so much going on the field that you don't even understand. Neither do I. So you saying that someone should have done something rather than what they did means nothing. Well, there you go. A nice new copy pasta. It's almost always wrong to type a brick. Is there any time you can type a full brick and chat is not just going to think it's copy pasta worthy? Ayyjayy going to have to use a ton of boost just to hold on to this possession after hitting it out to the midfield. And he actually did well to pick up the corner, but he's going to die. I mean, all of that came away with that first touch off the wall from AJ deep in Evoh's half, back towards his side of the field. You can see him correctly panicking right away, using up everything he had just to try and hold on to that possession. And he wasn't able to. Dies in the process, and now it's going to be an 8-4 lead for Evoh. Dominant game here in game number 2. AJ trying to get him back with the demo. Did anybody say cringe when AJ got demoed and then scored on? Because that is necessary. Nice flick. Good read. AJ has no choice but to be ultra aggressive like this. So smart by Evoh to flick. Feer, do you make your own graphics for tourneys and show matches, or does someone make them for you? It's a bit of a mix. I've had some people help me, and I've paid them, and some of the graphics I make. So I'm sure you could notice which graphics are the ones I make versus the ones that someone else made. $20 seconds. Evoh gonna tie this one up. We'll see if anybody gets to put on a clip, practice some resets in the final moments. You know, Evoh wants to now. He's been resisting so long. When does NRG play? A great question. Evoh, double own goal? No. Yes, Rizzo does have a 2s tournament. That should be starting soon here. We'll probably send the host over to that after this. Eclat Mackers says, Feer, who's the best ones player in North America right now? Well, there's no question that when First Killer is playing, you can't possibly argue against him being the best player. Now, the problem is, how do you quantify a player who doesn't always play in the events he could? This is a great shot from Evoh. Evoh chipping up into an air dribble and makes it look like he's going to let it fall to the ground, and then turns at the final moment to get one more touch. Going over the top of AJ. I would say AJ sits at number 2 behind First Killer. And since AJ seems to be always active, you could argue, do we include the inactive players? Hard to say. Evoh can't get back to this one after the mistake on the sidewall. Thought he was clearing it away. What about Daniel? AJ beat Daniel in their most recent matchup, as well as Daniel caught a loss to Chronic, I believe, on Johnny's stream. And I don't think AJ's had losses like that recently. So the fact that Daniel's caught some other losses and the fact that AJ beat Daniel in the head-to-head, I think you got to give AJ the edge right now. AJ catch and flick off the crossbar. Evoh not forced to save it. Can he corral this into a shot attempts? Hard to do so from the back corner of a solid player. AJ has been trying to pull off these aerials every time Evoh pre-jumps. He's honestly able to turn them into goals more often than not. This time Evoh does cover it, even though AJ has the early read. AJ, he was looking for a fake. He's had solid flicks. He's been putting the ball high, top right in those situations, and I think he was just hoping Evoh was going to outplay himself and fly to the top right, and he could slow 50 it in. But Evoh's defense, man, it has just been so solid and much improved over the course of his time on stream. He's not letting anything in for free when possible. He's trying to catch AJ out of position on this long shot, but AJ was already back. Half flip from Evoh. Can he get this to the net without AJ chasing him down? No, he will steal the corner boost, though. I don't know if he knows that AJ's sitting on fully 0. He's not going to need to know now. AJ will reveal it by completely leaving the play. So Evoh with space. Once again, trying that flick, that pre-flip flick. Not going to connect. I don't think I've ever seen him score with it, but he definitely has been going for it a lot. And AJ has had the read more often than not. I mean, credit to Evoh's defense. I talked about how he's stopped a ton of these. That's because AJ is really hard to stop. So you keeping him from scoring a perfect execution on his part is definitely something to pride yourself on. What you really need to do is prevent Ayyjayy from getting to those spots as much as possible because he's just too lethal from there. Evoh, goal line 50, doesn't connect. He's going to leave completely. Doesn't have any boost to be overly aggressive. Any wrong touch doesn't go his way, and Ayyjayy is going to be able to take it to an open net. He's going to score either way, though. Evoh can't get a solid touch. Ayyjayy lobbing the ball soft in a position that is in a spot that Evoh can't turn and get to very well when he's going supersonic. It's kind of an interesting play by Ayyjayy because it doesn't seem like a good first touch, but there's really no solid way for Evoh to handle it, and it results in forcing him to basically stop his car and become a really easy target for the demo. Now Ayyjayy in the air once again plays it over the top of Evoh. If you like yourself some aerial 1v1 play, not sure there's a better place to find it than phase Ayyjayy. Ayyjayy, what a great catch. Use of the jump as he connects with the ball to get an even nicer catch for himself. Evoh corner boost steal. His backflip should put pressure on Ayyjayy. Takes the corner again, and he's hovering underneath the landing spot for Ayyjayy to make sure he comes out awkward. I don't think he's going to be able to win this race, though. So that's the end of his possession. He couldn't find a way to turn it into a goal. He turns the challenge quick. I think he should be able to recover in time. Ayyjayy knows it too. Not even going to try and 50 with him there in the corner. Evoh camera check. Does he have the angle? He does. The camera work from Evoh. Talking about #1 players in North America, I think I can easily say Evoh's camera work is #1 of anybody I've ever watched. He seems to be able to move the camera with ease in a way that never affects his mechanics and movement. And he does it certainly more often than any other player. Glad you can make a stream, DTE. Always love people making it here for the first time. Evoh full field reset, and I think he just jumped a little bit soon on the demo attempt. Have to let the ball get a little bit closer to net before he can pressure Ayyjayy appropriately. They're just going to have a tough time getting a goal here. Nice save from Evoh. Catching it with the underside of his car. He is going to be forced to give himself some space. Ayyjayy, the wave dash catch up into the dribble. He is not going to go bump. Tried to just give it a final touch over the top, but Evoh had that read. Evoh 50 with Ayyjayy at the midfield. He dove for the boost, but I feel like there might have been a shot attempt there. At the very least, he would have forced Ayyjayy not to get 100 and play defense instead, and then maybe he could have played it from that spot later. We looked to demo Ayyjayy there at the midfield. Running out of time to get this fourth. Should be able to grab midfield boost. Gonna have to steal this possession from Ayyjayy, who is likely to play very patient and bait Evoh in. Evoh can't catch back up to this ball, and it doesn't roll onto the wall in time. So Ayyjayy will get a second. 2-1 in favor of the FaZe player. Game number 4. It is a best of 7. Remember, chat, these guys agreed to a 7. Playing for $150 right now. That means if Ayyjayy wins, it is not over. Evoh still has a chance, despite how hard it may be. These game 4s always feel like must-wins in situations like this. 3-1, so hard to come back from. 2-2, and the game could be anybody's. Ayyjayy taking to the skies. You just know he is. He's not going to resist an air dribble like this. Used to be the kind of player Evoh was, but he has been resisting air dribbles much more often. Ayyjayy doesn't score on the initial one, but he gets Evoh in the air, and the bounce off the crossbar is good enough to follow up. So Ayyjayy takes the early lead. Evoh, the camera check. Where is Ayyjayy going to go off this kickoff? And he gets demoed. Wow, I'm really surprised Evoh was supersonic there. I would not have bet that he got to supersonic on that flip, but obviously he did. Because Ayyjayy taken off the map. Smart play by Evoh to cut the ball towards the net right away. That's what forces Ayyjayy into an awkward save that Evoh can then easily snipe for a demo. Evoh taken to his back corner. He likes to do this. Ayyjayy respawns and just dives immediately. Wants to cover the distance. And I think it's worked out well. He should come away with the possession now. Ayyjayy keeping this ball right near the top of the arena. Crazy to think that the top of this arena is limiting the top players. And if it wasn't there, Ayyjayy might take an even higher arced air dribble all the way across the field. Ayyjayy back to this ball. The reset is solid, but too close to the ground where he can't rotate in time to get his wheels back on the ground. In fact, he probably needed to... it doesn't matter. He just got it too awkward. There was no flip or anything he could have done that would have turned his wheels around fast enough. Which means he's going to bounce awkwardly off the ground. Evoh will get a second. This is the way Ayyjayy likes to play. He plays through the air and forces you to make these tough plays. Eventually, he will give you a free one every once in a while, but not as many as he takes from you. This is a great dribble. Evoh expecting it to go a little bit higher as he rushes over the top of the ball. Ayyjayy couldn't see Evoh. Still thinks he can win this race. Ayyjayy just sitting patiently in net. Evoh just made a really tough save for himself. He's handled it so far. It's not ideal. Luckily for him, Ayyjayy not the best of setups, and a good box out by Evoh, whether intentional or not. He kept Ayyjayy from rotating back into this play. I think he just mostly wanted to touch the ball towards the net. He was focused on getting a good shot, and it just worked out that it prevented Ayyjayy from finding a way to get a clear. So now Evoh, once again, up 3-2. I feel like he's been leading a lot. Maybe he didn't in that game number 3. But he needs to hold on to it all the way through the end of the game. His lower score lines do seem to favor Evoh. Ayyjayy, another dribble where it seems like the ceiling is holding him back, and the reset for a third. Every single shot Ayyjayy makes in 1v1 always seems to be a clip. And Evoh's improved defense doesn't stand a chance against the best aerial attacker in the game. Evoh should win the race to the midfield. You see him, the long camera check to see where Ayyjayy's at. And very wise cut directly towards the net. Yeah, as soon as you win that race and you've got the 100-0 advantage, you don't want to waste your time taking the ball to the side wall. You just want to take it straight down the barrel, force that zero boost defender to play speedy in a way that they probably can't. And Evoh once again takes back his lead. But what kind of clip will Ayyjayy get this time to tie it back up? Yo, Cho Mar, thank you for 12 months, man. A full year of Tier 1. Dude, thank you, man. That's insane. Appreciate that. Support from the homies for that amount of time is truly just insane. Evoh, a 5th. Ayyjayy trying to wave dash pop the ball, and Evoh just had the perfect read on it. He jumped exactly where the ball was headed and tackled it directly towards the net. Not easy to do because it wasn't that obvious of a play by Ayyjayy. Huge whiff. I wonder if intentional. Well, the fact that he didn't get back to it, it shouldn't have been intentional, but wouldn't have been the end of the world because that touch wasn't going to be great if he made it back to the ball first. Once again, Evoh boxing out Ayyjayy, preventing him from taking it the whole field. Evoh cutting this back infield as Ayyjayy swings around on the challenge. He's able to dodge the demo attempt. He loves trying to bait players out, but AJ has just been too smart. Refuses to come all the way to the ball. Evoh definitely looking to get a demo. AJ avoids it well. Getting the tap and then immediately turning away from the play. You can see that from AJ. Was super important. Not only that, he's able to demo Evoh the other way by carrying him too. Tough. Nothing you can do about that. He cuts underneath you and just sets you up for death. That being said, Evoh's still up 1. Thank you, Kiki, by the way. 5 months of Prime. Thank you, thank you. AJ through the skies. The reset puts him far away from the ball. And he can't get back to it, but it doesn't matter. Evoh. We have to watch this from Evoh's perspective. Did he not see that AJ was not going to be able to make it back? Dude, he was a believer. Evoh was a believer even more than I was. I tell you what, watching from AJ's perspective, it was pretty clear that he was not getting back for another touch. Evoh thought he would, though. He couldn't punish AJ on a complete disregard for the kickoff. Last time that went in Evoh's favor for sure. This time, AJ's showing why it's not a complete mistake to not go to the kickoff. AJ, he can't finish it off. He got Evoh to miss. Wait, it's even worse than that. It's even worse. No, Evoh. Evoh. AJ wasn't around. He was trying to make sure the ball speed stayed high in case AJ was coming from behind him, but I think he just needed to keep it up. More importantly, man, AJ makes a mistake quickly after kickoff. Seemed like he had another opportunity to score. Both these guys do not want to win this game. Evoh needs to win it much more than AJ does. And this counterattack should be a goal. Evoh can't get back. That shot was saved. And AJ goes up 3-1. It is going to be tough to come back from. Evoh says his controller is so bad. Oh, rip. Game number 4 goes to AJ. 3-1. It's going to need to be 3 straight games for Evoh if he wants to win this best of 7. Game 5. A tough road ahead for Evoh. So he will need to get 3 straight. What is this setup from AJ? I have not seen anybody rock this before. What do we think? Chat, rate out of 10. AJ's current octane. Is this a football decal? It is. It's the Bengals. What do we think, chat? Out of 10? Rate AJ's fit. 10 out of 10. I think we might have some Bengals fans in chat. Wait, is it Bengals or is it Browns? What am I talking about? Dude, I have no idea what I'm talking about. I don't know sports. It's Bengals? Wait, well, who's Browns? Okay, Bengals was right. My first thought in my head was correct. Isn't there a team that's called the Browns? I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways, AJ's going to score first. Could have sworn that was the Lakers. No, I do know it's not the Lakers. Hello, Feer. Your school is doing a Rocket League tournament 3v3 versus another school. You're on Nintendo, so you're going to connect your Joy-Cons to the PC for school at trials. You're excited. Yo, let's go, dude. Some Joy-Con tournaments. You love to hear it. All right, chat. Rate out of 10, Evoh's fit. What do we think of the SSL decal? Ooh, nice slap by AJ. I think it looks nice, man. It goes well with the White Reapers. Great power shot. That was an all-in play by AJ. If that gets saved after using all his boost and slamming himself into the back wall, that was going to be tough to recover from. Evoh having to clear this and cross his net. Great use of the power slide to steal the corner, but he ends up dying in the process. Wait, he might get back for this. AJ pops it past him and scores. Nice. Great play by AJ to make sure Evoh's quick recovery didn't matter. Evoh needs to put some scoring on quick. He wants to find a way back in this series. AJ has looked just too good. Did you guys see Reddle's tweet recently about claiming a setup or claiming a, what's it called? Preset? Nice cut by Evoh. I believe this is a power slide cut, right? I know he just popped it over the top of him after cutting it one way. But I liked Reddle's car that he made. Everyone was clowning on him. Thought it was a pretty good car. Ayyjayy, another fake kickoff, works out well. As Evoh can't control it fast enough. Or can't get a read on it quick enough. Taps it immediately to Ayyjayy. Nice boost steal. Evoh just power this on net. Yeah, he can, especially after Ayyjayy didn't recover off the wall very well. Flying past the corner. Ayyjayy is back to gold, man. You love to see it. I mean, not just Ayyjayy. All of 1v1 has finally made the full loop back around. How exciting is it? You guys remember when this kickoff strategy was the absolute best possible kickoff strategy you can do in silver and gold? Was to just sit in your net? Well, apparently, that is now the best thing to do at the top level play as well. I guess this time was not a great argument since Ayyjayy got scored on quickly, but Ayyjayy, nice use to the resets. This time, the musty over the top of Evoh. Evoh looks solid, but it's been a while since he's been able to read one of these plays by Ayyjayy. Ayyjayy delayed kickoff. Gets a sixth. He's been mixing it up a bunch, and Evoh's been one step behind. A little bit less than half a game for Evoh to figure this out. Try and live to see another day. This is exactly how Moxie versus Joreuz went on those diagonal fakes. Moxie just kept trying to slot it in the bottom corner, the opposite of which Joreuz was retreating to, and same thing for Evoh. So far, 2 for 2. Ayyjayy has been able to make it back. Evoh hasn't been able to slot it. Now, I think Moxie did eventually start to beat Joreuz out. I'm not sure whose job is harder, the person trying to slot it in the bottom corner or the person who's trying to get a perfect half flip into the corner and recover fast enough to not get scored on. I would think Ayyjayy's job is much harder, but he's done it 2 times out of 2 so far. You got any tips to not be nervous since it's your first time? I don't know. Maybe you got to ask some people who have played in chat. Stop being so weird. What? And play. He's winning. He's up 2. I don't think he's being that weird. He's delaying kickoff and leaving boost. I mean, these are legitimate strategies nowadays. And Ayyjayy's proven it. I mean, most of these delayed kickoffs or complete disregards for the kickoff have gone in Ayyjayy's favor. Only a couple times have they gone in Evoh's favor. I really don't think he's playing that weird. I'm sure we'll see. I'm giving you a chance. Oh, man. I'm giving you a chance. Evoh, that chance is being used. 6-6 with a minute left to go. A good front flip to grab the boost. You're just being weird and cocky. You got it. Oh my goodness. I did not know there was any bad blood between Evoh and Ayyjayy, but maybe there is now. Ayyjayy, a 7th. He's going to throw the nice one. Ayyjayy absolutely controlling the mind games right now. Can Evoh stay calm and get back the couple goals he'll need? Ayyjayy with the quick recovery off the kickoff. There's no way. I mean, that's exactly right. Ayyjayy saying no way. It's going to be hard for Evoh to not get tilted here when Ayyjayy continues to just run up the score quick off kickoffs. Evoh able to get the first shot. Ayyjayy is probably going to play really slow, I would imagine. Does flick it away. 40 seconds. Evoh catch. Tries to 50 it underneath. He was faking the flick high. Ayyjayy had the read. It did not sneak its way under. 9-6. Ayyjayy has just about iced it. 4-1. Ayyjayy, best North American ones player at the moment. Seems only first killer is the answer to Ayyjayy in recent memory. Ayyjayy getting launched off the back wall. 21 seconds, still possible. Boy, would this be a crazy comeback if Evoh was able to get the next two in 20 seconds and somehow take the series. Wave dash kickoff from Ayyjayy. Wins him the race to the midfield boost. I think it's over. You need to have full boost control, as I've mentioned many times before. If you want to win a late game comeback, it usually involves having the boost advantage for the entirety of those moments. You can never drop it. Ayyjayy's out. $150 best of 7 in favor of Ayyjayy. No love traded between these two as the game ends. Oh, there it is. GG's from Ayyjayy, or sorry, from Evoh in the party before it ends. Ayyjayy still has the edge over Evoh. That demon is not crushed.